Okay, let's walk through the settings that you can manipulate as a community moderator. So once again, we have to go to the apple in the top black bar to navigate to the community that we want to tweak the settings on. In this case, I'm going to work in the reports community. So once I'm inside of my reports community, I will need to go to the settings tab. And here's where we can modify the various settings. So right off the bat, the biggest, most obvious thing is I can change the imagery associated with this particular community. So I can use the randomizer here and just let it select an image for me. I can choose an image from the repository of images that Foliotek has. I can filter maybe by nature pictures and pick one of those. Or I can upload my own if I want to choose my own imagery for this particular community. I can change the name of my community, the description associated with that community. I can change who the primary moderator is. So if a community has multiple moderators, you can choose who is the primary versus the secondary moderators. I can also change the visibility of this community. This is slightly complicated, but suffice it to say that moderator only is the default, and that means that you as the moderator are the only person who has access to see the content that students share in this community. You and other moderators. So if you have 6 moderators, they all have access to see that content. But students do not have access to see one another's content. The public option makes this community public via the URL listed over here. And so anybody could actually see the content and users inside of this community. Making it private means that the students in the community can actually, or the participants of that community can see one another's work, and the moderator can as well, but nobody outside of the group, outside of the community, can see that information. Finally, moderator only hidden is kind of a weird setting that actually hides the community altogether, so you can't even see it anymore. This is not a setting that is normally selected. You would choose one of these other 3 settings. So you can change your image, name, description, so on and so forth. And this is also where you're going to do your invite code and send invites. The final option in settings is making a community inactive, which you might want to do as you go from semester to semester because you don't want to have to see all those communities listed. You can click the inactive icon there and it'll make it inactive. You can still go to that community and see participants and work that's been submitted, but it just doesn't show up all the time. So that's it. That's where you're going to go and modify the settings for your community.